In my opinion, this is the best driver for mid-handicap, high handicap, low handicap or Tour Pro golfers of 2024. Lucky enough for me, I have two of them. Today we're going to put these to the test because not only do I think that these are a fantastic option for anybody who wants to hit the fairway, get the ball in play and just lower your scores. Spoiler alert, I actually played Turnberry Elsa course last week with a major champion and I hit nearly every fairway with these and I'm playing terrible at the moment. So that has given me the idea for this video. Now what's different about these two drivers? What do you feel is different?
The loft.
The loft. So we have one at 11.5 degrees, one at 13.5 degrees. And also the beauty about these drivers is yes to have the carbon crown, yes to have that B-steel technology, yes to have that movable weight technology, and they have twist face, which a lot of people forget. But they also come with a key. They don't come with a pin key, they come with a TaylorMade, sorry, just bad planning on my part here. But, so the 11.5, we're gonna play with this a little bit and we're gonna turn it into a little bit of a beast, you could say. So we're gonna put this down as low as it goes, so it actually goes down 2 degrees. So Bobby, in your mathematical brain, what's that going down to?
2 hours later.
9.5. So that's pretty much now a standard driver setting, isn't it? And we're going to move the weight in. So the heavy weight's at the front, so the CG shifts forward. And what does that do, Bobby? Spin. Come on, you're better than this. But now this is set to be, I think potentially, the perfect driver. 9.5 degrees, weight setting forwards, what more do you want? And guess what, we're not gonna put you through all that, but guess what we're gonna do? Why is the heavy, I've got to move it, why weren't they just in, anyway. This is going up to what, Bobby? 15.5. We're gonna have the heavy weight back. It's gonna be the most forgiving option potentially. We're gonna test it out here on the golf course. We're gonna test it inside. We're gonna see if there's really a difference. Does adjustability work? Let's find out. Okay, now all the admin has been done. We have potentially the best absolute beast monster of a mini driver going. I think it's that one. And we also have the most forgiving setting possible. Is there going to be a big difference? Which one do you want me to go with first, Bobby? I'm going to go blind. Right, you say that one then. I'm not looking. You can probably tell by looking at the loft on the face, to be honest, but quite a difficult driving hole. We're going to try just for up that right-hand side. Not sure which one this is. Oh my Lord. I'll tell you which one that is because that is absolutely filthy. Did you hear that? Like, so whenever we get sent these drivers to test, often they are the 13.5 degree. I imagine that's because the brands know they're going to sell the 11.5 degrees more, although all of them generally sell out, don't they? So it's an interesting one. So that's, I mean, let's be fair, that's the perfect drive. It's straight down the middle, a little draw, probably pitching around 260 odd, spinning at about 2-1. Would you say, Bobby? Now this is immediately looks more lofted. You can't do this test blind. Is it going to help hit that fairway a little bit more? A little bit higher. Again, up the right side. I don't mind that as a ball flight per se. Definitely a huge difference there already. And I'm really looking forward to testing this a little bit more on some more difficult tee shots, seeing if this can help save scores or if this bad boy can potentially help hit absolute bombs whilst also keeping the ball in play with its 3-wood length shaft and much smaller head. Right, I'm really enjoying this. I've only hit 2 shots. So I actually got this lower lofted one from the guys at Golf Clubs for Cash, $406.99. So these are really holding the value as well. They do hold the value though because they sell out so quickly. I know you're probably watching this, guys, but you're probably going to get the 13.5 back.
Naughty, naughty.
Right, so this is the more forgiving one, the one that should be straighter. I don't know if because it looks more lofted, I felt like it might go left, so I've backed out of it a little bit. Bobby, you're telling me the next one's up. Let's go and find them. I mean, that's a big difference already, isn't it? For the same club, just totally different settings. Oh no! Right, that's ridiculous. That's insanity, isn't it? Like a 60-yard difference. Fair enough it was a different golf swing, but you've really not got far into this hole from there, have you? Just threaded it. That's the easiest birdie you're ever going to have, isn't it? Easy. Go on then, how's an eagle? Okay, very interesting first hole there, and I feel like that kind of first tee shot we hit, we'll put it on screen again to show the ball flight. I feel like it's as good as a normal driver would be. Now the premise behind that for me is that whenever I use one of these drivers, this or the Callaway, or even one of the older TaylorMade drivers, you can get a little bit cheaper, I hit the centre of the face a lot more often. So I said earlier in this video that I played Turnberry the other day with him. I played with Paul Lorry, and I was quite nervous actually, because I'd never played with a major champion, I don't think. No. So I was really nervous, and I just kept getting this out and just kind of plodding it down the fairway. And he says, "Oh, what's that thing you're hitting?" I said, "It's a mini driver." He said, "Why don't you hit normal driver?" I said, "Because I'm with it, Paul." And then I actually played quite well and scored all right. He beat me by like 8 shots, and I played quite well, so I was very humbling. But we'll go with 13.5 degree to start with, and just try and the big thing here is keeping the ball in play, isn't it? Keep the ball in play. If you send it kind of 250, 260 down there, you're never going to be far away, especially on the golf courses we play. Even at the Elsa course, I was kind of not too far back. I was also playing with Alex Etchers. I was 100 yards back from him. But, funny story, on a par 5 where I hit this, I made eagle, I hit 4-iron in, I'll hit driver, hit sand wedge in, he made double. There we go. Sorry, I'll have to get that in. There we go. That's the kind of shot I like with this, just up the left side, fading back nicely. It's always going to be high, it's always going to be that kind of little plod. And now I feel like I want to go same mindset with the lower lofted version, with the lower spin version, and just see what real kind of difference we do get. Because you wouldn't really have a different mindset, would you? It's the same club, per se. It's so different, isn't it? That kind of low, little kind of boring knuckleball, I've not hit that very well. It's bounding down the right-hand side of that fairway. I'm not sure. I feel like this is a better setting for me, because it kind of comes out lower, lands and then keeps running, whereas I feel like the other one's landing angles a lot more, which is going to be. It's higher lofted, and it's higher launching, and it's higher spinning. Science. Right, so this is the lower lofted version, the lower spinning version. It's exactly the same distance as the more forgiving one, but the more forgiving one's done what I thought it might have done on the first tee. With that higher loft, I feel like it provides a touch more offset. It started left, it's not really faded back for me. So I'm actually proving more accurate so far with the lower lofted version, the lower spin version. Guys, let's jump in the studio. Let's see just what differences we see on the GolfStorm launch monitor, and then let's finish up out here and decide once and for all what loft should I use, should you use, and what should Bobby use? Nobody knows. Okay, the head covers are off, and so's the jumper, because we're swinging too fast in here, and it's a little bit warm. But we're going to kick things off with the lower lofted low spinning driver. It is of course the 11.5 degree lofted down to what, Bobby? 9.5, exactly that. What can we get with this club? Because I feel like on the course I've really enjoyed it to a point where it could quite easily become a permanent fixture in my golf bag. That one was a little bit cutty. What's that pitching? 240, releasing up to 260. And we've got ball speed of 156. So not the best ball speed, but still only spinning at 2000. So pretty good numbers for a pretty average tee shot. Let's try and not get the side spin this time. Play more of a knuckleball. Oh, don't do that, because that was massive as well. Oh, that's ball speed was 159.2, spinning at 2.2. Just start that one on line. Fade again. Very consistent, pitching at 253, releasing up to 273. Feel like there's a bigger one in here. That's the one you want. That's the one that you're teeing off with. Then you go, you know what, pitching at 263, releasing up to 285, 159 ball speed, spinning at 2036. Is it worth having a driver in the bag at that? Like, I know we've hit a couple of sporadic ones, but still. That is a long way. 257 carry, 160 ball speed. Just shut it down a touch. Oh, Bobby, what about that? What about that? 265, 285, 158.9 ball. Spinning at around 2000, which again I think is really impressive for a club of this size and of this kind of length. Now, we've shown what we can do with that. Yeah, we've hit a couple of wild ones. I mean, this might be a better setting if you plan on using it off the deck as well, but realistically it's let's say a 260 carry to be on average. I just don't feel as confident looking down at that face. I feel like, I mean, that's done really well for a miss hit, 240 odd, but 255 total. I feel like I want it, like looking down at it, the toes up because of the loft. It looks like it's trying to go left. Probably difficult to see on a camera, to be honest, but it looks really difficult. And that's the one that you're kind of happy with on the course, but there was an obvious difference when we're out there with distance as well. Pitching at 240, it's a 250 total, but the other ones are kind of pitching 20 yards past that, aren't they? So what about one off the deck? See, off the deck, it's pretty interesting that, but it's no better than a 3-wood. I mean, it's 3-wood length, it's 3-wood loft. So it's a 3-wood shot. Guys, there's one clear winner here for me. Let's jump back on the golf course and see which one would suit me, would suit you, and would suit Bobby. Okay, now I happen to despise this golf hole. This tee shot really does not suit my eye. There's a water hazard on the left, there are trees on the right, it's a narrow fairway, and oh yeah, it's 430 yards. So if I was to hit a normal driver here, I'd probably have a breakdown before I even tried to hit it. This is where these drivers can come in really useful. Let's go first with the attacking option with the 9.5 degree, and we'll see just potentially how well we can do, because although it's the 3-wood length shaft, so club head speed will be relatively low compared to a normal driver length shaft, if I hit the middle of that club face, ball speed could still be higher, which means distance and accuracy could still be better. Maybe that's a test to do as well. Guys, if you want to see that, make sure you get in the comments and let us know. But I feel like I'm still relatively attacking the golf course. And I feel like that's the perfect tee shot. Down the middle, a little bit of fade, nowhere near the water hazard, which is always in the back of my mind. And if I go for the more lofted version here, if I go for that 15 degree, basically a big 3-wood, isn't it? Basically. I feel like it's kind of opening up the left side of the golf course a bit more, which if you slice the ball may be a positive for you. So all these things we have to think about. Let's try and go same line. Let's see. That's good actually. I mean, it's high, but it's bang smack in the middle of the fairway. It wasn't struck out the middle, and I wouldn't be too dissatisfied with that if I was playing this golf hole. Again, let's go and see where they've finished. I think there's a clear winner for me, but it may not be the clear winner for you or Bobby. So once again, we see quite a big difference here. We have the high lofted club here. It was struck a little bit high out the face, but with 9.5 degree is a good 30 yards up there on the right hand side. So realistically, I think there's only one winner, and we're going to have to nuke it down the final hole. So guys, like I said, for me, there's one clear winner, but I would do this test for yourself if you were in the market for something like this. You can get some really good second-hand options now from places like Golf Clubs for Cash, and you can generally get a good trading value back as well. So I'd just make sure that whatever money I was spending, I was making sure it was correct and you are getting the best for you. Obviously, a fitting would benefit everyone, but for me, getting this 11.5 degree head, putting the heavy weight forward, lofting it down, really could be a bit of a game changer for me. And that is certainly going to find its way into my golf bag for the rest of this year. I feel like I haven't missed one. Frightening. Okay, so interestingly, I've just hit a full driver as well, a Callaway Paradigm Triple Diamond 9 degree stiff shaft. You can see here that those balls are pretty much exactly the same. The standard driver's gone a little bit further than the mini driver, even at 9.5 degrees. But interesting to see how close they can be. We hit that driver for a reel over on our Instagram, but I wanted to show you guys a comparison to finish on, because yes, you might squeeze a little bit more out of a full driver, but it could also go quite a lot worse, potentially.